Let me introduce myself quickly. So I'm Charlette N'Guessan, and I'm a tech founder. I help companies build AI and data-driven solution for the African market, also the global market. So currently I'm working as an AI expert consultant with APET, which is the AI panel of emerging technology, part of the NEPAT, an agency for the African Union. And what we are currently doing is to write an AI continental strategy for the African market, where we talk about the economic and how government can really see the value of AI and adopt AI in the global market, let's say like that, in the African market. And I also had some contribution in some books. In 2020, I contributed at the co-author of the AI book by FinTech Circle. And my chapter was focused on the use of AI in the financial space in Africa. And I also share my journey as a female engineer and also a tech founder on the Rising to the Top, sponsored by the International Federation of Engineering Education Society and the Global Engineering Council. So I think that it's very important to engage on how we can really leverage on AI to grow our economic in the African market. And sometimes when you talk to people, you understand that there's different perception about artificial intelligence. I remember that having a conversation where some people were telling me that, but Charlotte, your AI stuff is cool, right? It sounds good, but we're in Africa, and in some corner on the market, people are suffering. They need food, they need some basic needs. And talking about AI, we are not yet. So why not just making sure that government focus on closing that gap and help people to have that benefit, that needs. And I like what I always say is it's not about AI vs Africa, AI vs whatever. It's about how to use AI as a tool to make sure that we solve the challenges we face. And that's where I need to call, I need to say that as African youth, no matter where you stand, it's very important to understand what is AI and how you can really take advantage of this technology. So for some example, I selected some of the important things I think that is good to highlight in the context is that AI can contribute in different ways. The first is we know it's still happening right now in the African market and outside, that AI support intelligent decision making. What I mean by that, today we have a lot of data on the ground. Sometimes they're available, sometimes we struggle to get the data, but still we have data on the African market. And for businesses based on the African market, it's hard to meet market demand because they used to rely on the traditional way. But today with AI, you can easily analyze the data you have and understand what's the need for your target and give let's say a custom services to your clients, for example. If you are able to build the right solution for your market, of course, they pay for what you provide, engineering revenue. And this revenue also contributes to the economic growth of Africa. So it's very important to be able to understand that part of the tools of AI. I say that there's also the fact that AI empowers social governance, and there is a lot of corruption in society. I won't say in government of not, but there's a lot of corruption. There's a lot of inequality, and we notice that with technology in general, we're able to capture that part. And today there is a lot of way government can use tools like AI, technology like AI to be able to engage with society, to be able to reduce corruption, to be able to fight against fraud, even to be able to strengthen the governance system and promote inclusive and sustainable development. And it's very important for our government to be aware of that and to start making actions. There's also the fact that AI enhances labor and capital, but you talk about this in the next part of the presentation, and AI fuel innovation entrepreneurship. Today, as youth Africans, let's say Africans, we are there to innovate because we can't say that we can't build product, we can't think about solution. There's technology here, there's AI, that's technology that can easily stimulate human intelligence, can help us to go beyond what we were expecting. So there is a need for us to let's explore what is going to on the market, on our communities, and at a different level. If you're in Kumasi, search around what is going to happen there, what is happening there, what are the challenges your people are facing, and be able to say, okay, I can solve this problem. and I can use AI to solve this problem. So there's a huge amount of the fact that AI can stimulate the startup ecosystem in African market. We have a lot of entrepreneurs from that market. There's a lot of solution as well. So is contribute to the economic growth of Africa. And what also I want to highlight is the fact that sometimes when I mean, I attended some conferences on AI before, and we used to talk about the engagement and how we can engage with government. I mean, with politicians, let's say like that, it's going to be more but the politician. And we know that in African politicians, they follow the money. I'm not saying but in the bad way, but in the way that they go to invest where they feel that there is value. They can get something back from what they invest in, and that's how we can get the attention. So the best way to address that, the best way for us to say that, okay, it's time for African government to have that interest about AI in the market is to make sure that we show the value of AI in certain industries. For example, in West Africa, we know that a lot of countries, they focus on agriculture, for example. So there's a need to show that how AI can really let's say, support agricultures and make sure that we generate more revenue, or there is a lot of production in terms of food security, for example. So there's a need to show the AI for good in that kind of industries. And that's why I try a bit, because it's a short presentation, so I just had to capture some of the let's say key sectors in Africa. We like to focus because there's a lot of challenge we face there. There's agriculture, there's health, there's finance, education, and even energy is not figuring out, but it's part. There's so many spaces, so many sectors that really need that can leverage the use of AI to for growth. And when you check here on agriculture, there's a lot of startup where Dr. Moon did this presentation. He shared some of the local startup like I think lab. Yeah. We also have some kind of work on FK and agritech as well. So the thing is like you can be able to use like AI to do weather prediction, which can help farmers. You can automate irrigation using IoT, combine different technology together to have something out from that, which can have an impact for to help farmers in the farms. You can also use AI for crop monitoring, for pest and disease detection, which is very important because we know in some areas sometimes there is some kind of pest disease that can affect like a large time part of land, and farmers can end up with nothing. So there is a need also to anticipate on that and to work on that. In the healthcare, we need to make sure that government and the stakeholder understand that telemedicine, for example, is a good use case. Today, we are not able to afford physical infrastructure in some area, right? But we can be able to rely on telemedicine to make sure that we connect doctors to citizens, to anyone who face some medical issue, and they can have that that consultation, talk to doctors from wherever they are to say that, oh, today I have headache, or today I think that I'm not feeling well, what it should be, and the doctor can go through that with them. So AI makes it possible. And there's also diagnosis prediction. I'm sure that if you are here today, it means that you already use, or you know what is social media, you know what is happening in the world, and you can see a lot of way that people can, our FK are really like, let's say, involved. There is a lot of innovation, by a lot of growth in that space in the global market. And today we are able to treat some diseases. It wasn't possible because of technology in general. But now, because of AI, we can easily do prediction for any skin cancer, skin disease, for cancer, for example, even to do some surgery. And that's amazing because it wasn't possible. And we know that in Africa, we don't have a good infrastructure, but we also don't have sometimes like a lot of, let's say, available doctors. So it's a way for us to provide FK to a large population, large volume of people, but without the need to get physical, let's say, a lot of doctors in any area of the market. In the finance is, when you say finance, it smell money, and people like money. They like to hear about finance. And in the recent years, we have seen a lot of innovation of the fintech space, a lot of startups, a lot of funds from outside. It means that there's opportunities in space for people who want to maybe embrace entrepreneurship life. There's a lot of opportunity in space. Even traditional banks today, they understand the need to be digitalized. They need to embrace innovation and solution like based on AI. And today we can easily do a credit scoring, no matter which kind of niche. It depends. For example, let's say that you want to target farmers and you don't have like a background history in terms of how the journey and the relationship with money. You can easily build your own credit scoring based on some data you define. Let's say the farmer has like how many crops it does map on, and how many crops, what the farmers is actually focused on, and be able to build your own models that can say that, okay, we can give the credit scoring of that farmer is Y and X. You can give this amount of money. You can give them some money, some credit to support them in the farms. So we give today the possibility to people to have access to what they didn't have before because of AI, because of technology. There are also fraud detection in banking. And if you are in the market, you know that there is a lot of what people call also Yahoo Boy or whatever. And banks of any kind of financial institution, they really care about fraud. And today with AI, there's a possibility to fight against fraud detection easily. If you use facial recognition, for example, you can easily put authentication in your software and make sure that anyone with access to their own bank account, wherever, they have to check in with a face. And that's been one of the solutions we built at Bace in our company. So it's the way to help people to protect and to save their money and to feel confident about banking. So also in payment is the same way. You can use AI technology to make sure that your people can make transactions easily. In education also is one of the industry we have interest in Africa, because like we say, you need to invest in your people, you need to invest in youth, and it's through education. And I think that with COVID-19, we noticed that a lot of traditional university were like, oh, what are we going to do? How can you go to give access to our students to the right cars to keep educating them? And e-learning platform came, right? And e-learning platform, there's a standard e-learning platform based on standard algorithms, and the e-learning platform based on AI, which was more like advanced. We're able to say that, okay, based on the journey of the student, that where they should focus on, that's where how we can assist them as a teacher. And aside that, people were using also AI to for fraud detection, using like facial recognition for writing exam online, for example, even for children's safety. If you feel that you don't want your kids to have access to certain website or wherever, there's a possibility to use AI to make sure that you can study and capture or track how your students use or behave online. And you have to say thanks to technology and thanks to AI to help us to be able to manage all of this. And I know that Dr. Mo much talk about that a lot, because it's one of the work they are doing as well, NLP Ghana. So the thing is like there is also a possibility for us in Africa to have that heritage about our culture. Even me myself, I'm a French speaking. I'm in Ghana, so I speak English, but I don't speak some local languages. So that's kind of difficult because we are losing the culture. I mean that if I said I'm an Ivorian, I'm not defined by France, by French. I'm defined by my local language, right? So I should be able to say that, oh, I'm from the Akan tribe. I can speak Baule, for example. But if I don't speak my local language properly, there's a chance that my kids or my children won't speak as well. So there is a chance that we lose all this kind of heritage. And with AI, it's possible to save that, to make it work, to make sure that we're able to restore the old information of history we have about Africa. We can digitalize that and save in some way that you can have access over time, and we can make sure that people can contribute over time in the safety way. And there's also the local language translation part, where Dr. Mu also talk about that a lot, where we have also Google even on the ground. They're doing some work to make sure that they can translate some local languages. People want to be able to, if I want to go to, let's say, to Kenya, I want to be able to engage with people there, not just in English, but as well they speak of Swahili, they speak local languages, and you need to be able to engage with them. And today, right now, there is some platform where you can, like a Zoom platform, for example, where you can be able to engage with people and to speak your local languages or any kind of languages, and also you understand in the different language. For example, if I speak French right now, you hear me in English, and it's automated. And I think they use natural language processing to make this happen. And that's amazing to see that how people are working on that, how people want to make sure that the language is not a barrier anymore, except especially not just in Africa, but in the global aspect. And I invite people who want to work on the space to also check out that translation part. There is a lot of opportunity in the space. So like I said, just capture some part. There's also energy, and there's a lot of application for artificial intelligence, and we are not going to end, because as tech evolve and things are going to happen a lot, there's a lot of industries that are going to be affected and impacted positively, and should be able to engage on that, to see what's going on, and to be able to be actors of those innovations. So the next part is a focus on AI and job creation. And of course, when we hear AI, we are all scared, and we ask a lot of questions about what's next. Will AI replace my job or not? We have that fear. And I think that it's good to ask this kind of question, because recently during the World Economic Forum, they estimate that 18.5 million jobs will be replaced by machine AI by 2025. So to answer the question, yes, there's a chance that your job will be replaced, but it means, what are you doing? What is your job, right? So we should be able to understand and to ask those questions to ourselves about what we are doing. What I like to say to people is like, the goal of AI at the beginning was to make sure that we're able to empower the work we are doing, to make sure that we do things faster, we don't do like a repetitive work. And that was the main goal at the beginning, to support humans, right? And at this stage, I feel that most of the jobs that currently are disappearing, you can say like that, is jobs that require a lot of time, and require like repetitive tasks. And of course, if I'm a company, I'm a business, I know that if I have to pay 3 employees to do a job, and they spend 3 hours or 4 hours, and every month to pay them, let's say, 10K, every month is 30K, and I know that I can use that new tool developed by a startup, and where I can just put my information there and process in 15 minutes, and I get a response, and I have to pay maybe, let's say, 500 CD per month. Of course, I sign for it, and it's not because I don't want you to lose your job or not, but because as a founder, as an entrepreneur, as a owner of business, I want things to reduce my costs, and to make sure that I get the productivity at the end. So a lot of job will be lost. But now ask yourself, are you part of this kind of job? What are you doing right now? Are you a tech savvy or not? What can you do to be able to upgrade your skills, and to be able to embrace these new jobs that will be open for us? And some of the new jobs, I capture some of the new jobs that can happen in some spaces, space. It's basically like in cloud computing, because we're talking about AI, wherever there's a lot of also cloud opportunity, cloud architect. There's a different type of title that you can even do your own research and see what fits you best. But there's opportunity in cloud computing. There's opportunity as a domain expert. Like I said previously, when Kwame asked me a question, whatever you are doing, whatever you are building, we need domain experts. If you're a developer, wherever you are, you need someone who understands what you are building. If you need to build a product, a model for, let's say, for agri-tech, for agriculture, but you are not a farmer, you know nothing about the space. We need people who understand. So that's why you need to collaborate with people who are in the space already. They need to come to us too. It's about collaboration to work, because we need them, because it's going to make a difference about what we are building. It's going to put like a kind of inclusion about inside the data we get. It's play like an important role to have domain expert in your company. So there's also researchers, whatever we are seeing today, we are talking about ChatGPT, everything else, BAT or whatever, is resulting from research. People invest in research, and in Africa we have a lack of that. We have university, of course, there is a lot of research lab in, but our researchers are struggling. I don't want to talk on the behalf, but since I have an engagement with some of them, the things like don't have a wide support, right? You can do some research today and in a paper, and that's all. Who is going to read? But it's that paper is very important to make sure that people work on that, whatever you are watching on. So there is a need also to support the researcher in Africa, because they are going to make the change. We don't just want to be users. We want also to be able to create our own technology, to be able to make investment, to make change, to be part of a game. I mean, the game changer kind of, and it's so important for us to give like the right, let's say the right support to our researchers based in Africa. In cybersecurity, since we are talking about like data, we are talking about AI, all of these kind of things is about like it's online, it's technology, and we need to engage, or we need to get experts in cybersecurity. But we work to make sure that wherever data we share, or wherever our solution we build is safe enough to be used. And that's where I'm saying that if you like cybersecurity, there's an opportunity for you there also to stand and to get a career path there. Just do your own research. I'm saying again, do your own research based on your current skills and based on what you want to achieve. You can define where you want to start. Big data is not new, but big data, if you are building AI model in data, so big data is one of the domain as always getting a lot of needs, and you need a lot of experts in that space. Data analyst, data scientist, wherever, any kind of skills we need in that space. We need a lot of skills, let me say like that. So if you feel that you like to work in that big data space, I really invite you to do, because there's a lot of opportunity, and it's today and it's tomorrow. So you are not losing something. You can just have like a formal education, learn about this and do this. And there is also policymakers. When I say policymakers, is kind of specific, but I want to talk also about regulators. I'm to talk about also lawyers. Today everyone is involved, right? Whatever you are building, you're talking about ethical, you're talking about regulation, and we need people like that. We reflect on that and give us the right framework to build models, AI models on the continent. And even we need people like lawyers, people who know the laws, and they know as they understand also the technical aspect, can speak our language, and they can also define like which kind of framework we can build for the African market for any consumption, because we are not just thinking about like building models on the African market, but also consume. People outside organizations that are building AI model and that bringing on the African market, we need to be able to track those technology and to be able to see that if they actually are complying to our local laws and our regulation as well. So there is a lot of opportunity in this space. So what I want to say to conclude is that AI, like we say, is not something new. Of course, with ChatGPT, it was getting a lot of interest. We were getting sweet, let's say that, we're getting sweet. So people now started saying like, oh, what is AI, whatever. But when you go deep, you know that is a technology, and the technology is used as a tool to solve problems. If you want to be part of a space, you can be. We need technical people. We need non-technical people who understand. You can speak the language of AI. We need different aspects, and I share some of the jobs and some of the opportunities you can embrace, some of the career you can embrace to be able to play an important role in the space. And if you want to build a product, remember that inclusion is very important. You are building for the African market. Make sure that you focus on inclusion, you focus on ethical, you build responsible product, because at the end of the day, it's not just to build. We are building to solve problems. So make sure that you embrace that change. And in terms of leverage like your skills, what I want to give you as an advice guys is like we are coming from different backgrounds. Some of us had technical backgrounds. Or for example, me, I studied computer science and electronics uh, before even starting my career into data science and in the tech space in terms of like building my startup wherever. So I have like a background in informatics and electronics. So I already have some basic stuff, to understand the technical aspect easily. But like Dr. Mo and Samuel and Eric, all of the panelists, they said you can just learn. If you want to learn something, you can learn. It's about like say that, okay, today I'm embracing formal and informal education. Even if I'm a student in university right now, I'm studying geography. I don't have to leave my geography curriculum right now because I'm already in. But I can still learn through informal education, like online resources, webinars like that, YouTube or blogs. There's a lot of people who are doing a lot and they're building that creative content to help other people to learn. And you can learn from that and see where you fit when you start. And don't just watch us. No, be part of us. We need you guys. And I want to add the last sentence about like the gender gap in the space. Like I'm sure that you can notice that even with flyers, there's only one woman. When I share the flyer of the webinars, I remember something was like, "Oh, Charlotte, why is just you on the flyer? We need more women on the flyer." I was like, "Oh, actually, I know a lot of women in the space. I know a lot of female data scientists, whatever." So sometimes we need to show that there is women in the space, to make sure that we inspire as young girls to be able to be part also on the journey, to invite you guys. So even if today you're feeling that, oh, there's a lot of women voice in the conversation, and I want to let you know that there's a lot of women who work in the space. Right? Of course, definitely there's a gender gap, but we need more women, and it's not about the gender, it's about the skills. If you feel that you can study, you can learn, and you really want to be working in the AI space, you can. You can, because people before you have done this, and there's a lot of example around, and you can just check on LinkedIn and follow those people and get inspired. People are there, they want to help. Just ask for help. They help you to get the right advice to move your career path. So I hope that my contribution was really insightful for all of you. So thank you for having me. And if you need to rush out to me, that's some of my contacts. So yeah.